Hello, Roger Hill of Weathering Heights Consulting, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. For this outlook, this weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities, Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Full disk view of planet Earth. One of the things to note is that we have no tropical issues at all across the Atlantic. We do have the Saharan dust layer that's been coming off of Africa with the easterly winds that blow across and into the Caribbean basin. And a curious kind of a cold pocket aloft producing thunderstorms. This has been kind of working its way occasionally toward Bermuda. And this is stationary. Also of note, a major plume of moisture that gets pulled up here. It taps into the deep tropics. And then the meridional flow will continue up the eastern seaboard and into New England. This will provide us with basically some moderate to heavy rain showers, occasionally some claps of thunder embedded. No real issues for lightning, no sub-alert for today. However, we're watching this system that's going to be a powerhouse, and it's going to work on through. It'll have stronger winds aloft. Eventually what this will do, it'll set up some stronger shower and thunderstorm activity, possibly locally severe, on Friday into Friday evening. So this is the basic setup. You can see southerly winds pushing in this convergence zone, this plume of high precipitable water, running about 1 to 2 standard deviations. In terms of temperatures, we've managed to make it up into the 80s before the rain is pushed on in. And dew point temperatures continue to be very high as well, basically in the upper 60s and 70s. This will continue with this plume of moisture, and some very high dew points will continue to spread into the region for today. This is going to be the main event for tonight, this evening. It'll probably include a few isolated thunderstorm cells overnight, a couple claps of thunder, but mainly big, large water droplets that will unload anywhere from around 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch and a half, 2.5 inches as a possibility. Looking at the HRRR here in this particular case of showers and thunderstorms, you can see some of that red in parts of Vermont. This is through about 6 o'clock this evening. There could be a little bit of a break in the action, and then more showers and thunderstorms roll on in with this area of low pressure, kind of a wave along the front. This will bring a good surge of moisture for tonight. And this is about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3, 4, 5, and then finally 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, still raining. This will be the back edge. There'll be some scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon as well on Thursday. You can see some of those forming early on, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is our next weather maker that'll happen on Friday afternoon and evening. This one looks like it's a little bit more prone with problems for utilities. Okay, European model, 6-hour increments. You can see the showers and what looks to be some pretty heavy-duty thunderstorm activity work on through with some decent rainfall. Then a little bit less as we get into the afternoon on Thursday. You can see everything kind of washes out by Thursday evening and into the overnight period on Friday with mostly clear skies, and we'll have a fully moonlit sky at that point, and the full buck moon, which actually occurs at 4:20 on Friday, 4:20 p.m. And then we have the thunderstorm activity that's going to work through on Friday, and this is a little bit more problematical. And it looks like it moves into the evening hours and then gets flushed out. Maybe some isolated sprinkles around the region on Saturday, nothing major there. And then finally Sunday looks like high pressure builds in for some dry weather. That'll last into Monday. You can see it's relatively weak. And then our next issues start next week for Tuesday into Wednesday. Getting into Wednesday here, this is Tuesday afternoon. And you can see it's almost a repeat of what we just experienced with some heavier showers and storms working across certain parts of the region. The GFS ensemble shows the main event today, roughly between 5/10 and maybe 8/10 of an inch. I think this might be a little bit higher than that, and certainly in some locations. And you can see that this is Friday afternoon, a little bit of Saturday's business, very limited amounts of precipitation. And we have the 2 days on Sunday and Monday, and then we're back into it on Tuesday and likely into Wednesday. You can see some of that. Total rainfall is probably going to be a little bit higher than what is shown here, but not too much more. 7-day total QPF, or from the Weather Prediction Center down in the Maryland area there, You're looking at the total amount of rainfall. So this is 3 inches. That's like 2.5, 2, 1.5, and so forth. So some pretty healthy amounts of precipitation. You all put it together, and of course this is a plume coming up the coast as shown. Again, this data is centered on Burlington, the GFS ensemble. So the warmest day is 80 to 85 today and tomorrow. And then we see a dip in the temperature. And by proxy, you can usually see how humid things are. When you see temperatures stay up above 60, you can tell that that's some pretty good humidity, some deep moisture. But then the temperatures do fall off as we get into basically Friday night and over the weekend. And then we start to see an influx of more moisture work on in Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So still running about 3 degrees above normal. This is neutral. You can see that there's an influx of cooler than normal temperatures across the upper Midwest, and an influx of also of warmer temperatures that have kind of worked in from Texas. Big heat dome currently, and this is kind of working up the west coast. About 3 days later, you can see that cooler air is now sinking into the southeast United States. We're still neutral, running about 3 above normal across Maine. The west coast is building a pretty strong heat wave once again. So above normal temperatures from Alaska across the Yukon right now. This is that cold pool that's going to be headed toward the southeast United States. This is our anomalous warm spot here in terms of the world. There's been a lot of forest fires out of control across Sweden, Finland. The Arctic's been on fire, just north of the Arctic Circle. It's gotten a little bit cooler in parts of Siberia, not everywhere. Eastern Siberia a little bit warm, that extends into Alaska. And then the Antarctic is really warmed up, which is interesting, 1.6 degrees above normal right now. Whereas the Arctic, due to Greenland and the Canadian archipelago, it's really cooled off there, but it's kind of splotchy across the north. Again, Antarctica is very, very warm all of a sudden. It's anomalous cold here, not everywhere. No tropical cyclones are forecast, any disturbances at all. It's a really good thing because right now we have a very favorable situation. If there were to be any tropical systems, they would head right up the eastern seaboard, right into probably New England. So hope for nothing here until this pattern changes. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.